Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party
Transformers!
I'm Sick on this episode of Transmissions as we recap all the action figure announcements from New York Comic-Con. X-Transbot shows off an Autobot-X prototype, and is it just possible that Toys R Us is returning to the US? Today is Wednesday, October 10th, 2018, and this is episode 298 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's supremely excited for the War for Cybertron New York Comic-Con reveals. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Yusuf, better known as Yoshi.
Yo! Hey, Charles.
Yes, sir.
How's not being sick? Because being sick sucks dick right now.
It doesn't suck dick.
All right.
Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hi, how you doing?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
All right. So we're here for another groundbreaking episode. There was a little event over the weekend that we're going to talk about. I think everyone knows what that is. But first, we always start off the show with the service to our fans, our Donatreons. We give shout outs, no donations, no new donations this week. Sorry. But we do have some stuff to give away because we have our You Don't Have to Go to Walmart G1 reissue contest. And we put out the call. People signed up throughout the month of September. Everyone on the Patreon is now going to get a chance to win a G1 Bumblebee, a G1 Starscream, or a G1 Devastator. So, I hope you guys are ready. And for this contest, each person can only win one, so we're not going to have a single winner winning multiple prizes. So there will be 3 winners. So if you win one, you're out for the other competitions. So just to give everyone as much of a chance to win as possible. So let's start off. The first prize up is that G1 Bumblebee.
Now,
So,
Jeremy, you removed DJ Ronan from that list, right?
I'm not in charge of the list. I just am in charge of the numbers. So I have no idea who has what number.
Okay.
I have the list, Yoshi.
What number is DJ Ronan?
I don't think we should reveal until we draw them.
That's a secret.
All right, Jeremy, could you please have your lovely assistant give us a number between 1 and 120?
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 120.
Your random number between 1 and 120 is 116.
Ooh.
116.
Way up there.
That is Charles Paget.
I thought you were about to say Shelton.
No, I did not win.
Right on.
Congratulations. I think this is, I think he goes by Chaz, so thank you.
Awesome.
Chaz, congratulations.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to Walmart.
Get yourself a Bumblebee.
You get that G1 Bumblebee. All right, so now let's move on to the Starscream.
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 120.
Your random number between 1 and 120 is 67.
67. Lucky 67. Our good friend Rob Cantu.
Right on, Robbie.
Well, that doesn't sound like DJ Ronan to me.
It is not.
It is not.
Rob, you get the G1 Starscream. Congratulations. And Rob has done a lot of art for us, fan art over the years. We appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Rob, you're awesome.
Yeah, he kicks ass at art.
Okay, now here's the big kahuna, the G1 Devastator.
Mm-hmm.
Computer, give me a random number between 1 and 120.
Your random number between 1 and 120 is 44.
44.
Please be me.
Emmett. No, it's not you, Yoshi. Emmett Sresovich. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. All right.
You don't have to go to Walmart.
Look for these things to be coming your way. We'll probably contact you by email just to confirm your mailing address, and then we'll get them out to you.
Yay.
Or I will get them out to you because I have them all right now. I'll just put them back in their boxes and tape the card down again. Get one away from my daughter. It's cool. They're good. They're all still new. It's still good. It's still good.
All the winners are in the U.S., so maybe you should wait till you go to TFCon so you can put them in the U.S. Postal Service.
Possibly. So that might have been an idea that has already been floated.
All right, so we gave away some stuff. It's always good feeling to give away stuff to our listeners. Congratulations. Although we do have to mention now that we've given away our this prize pack. This is going to be the last Patreon exclusive contest. So because of the way gambling laws work, we can't make the contests exclusive to Patreons anymore because
it's more of a Patreon rule. Because they're based in California and because of the way California laws work.
Yeah, so basically, remember back in the day when you had contests in cereal boxes and they always said, no purchase necessary to enter. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope if you want to enter without paying for something. So we are providing that
self-addressed envelopes.
So we are opening up all our future contests to everyone. So in order to enter the contest, if you are not a Donatron, you're not on PayPal or Patreon, you just need to send us an email.
We'll have something to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess it'll be different for every contest.
But like in the past where we've done, like, send us an email with, your favorite figure or something like that. Just there'll be something easy to do for anyone to enter, and all Donatrons will get an entry just automatically as before. Right.
So I guess we should start this with the October Toy Hacks giveaway. So I guess if you want to enter the October Toy Hacks giveaway before October 31st, you need to send us an email with a figure that you would like to put some Toy Hack stickers on, with a picture of that, and you will be entered in the Toy Hacks giveaway contest. And again, all our Donatrons are already entered, but if you are not a Donatron, you can enter the contest.
Where should the email go? contest@transmissionspodcast.com.
Yeah.
Yes, let's say that. Yep. That email does exist. It does not go to the trash like Daryl at Transmissions Podcast. All right. So with that out of the way, we do want to remind you again, we have our new merchandise store at TeePublic, so you can check that out. You can look at all the products we've got there. New T-shirts. We got Jeremy has a new T-shirt design we put out. And for all our Donatrons, you guys still get the special 20% discount, and that you should already have that code. If you do not have the code, send us a message. We'll get that to you.
There is a post on Patreon and also in the Donatrons chat. I don't know if it's a pinned message, but it should be a pinned message soon. And it will have the code. And the codes will change monthly because of how TeePublic works. Each one will have like blackout dates where they're running another deal that would be better than the code. But we'll just keep updating every time there's a code. We'll let you guys know. And I did test. I believe it works on anything from TeePublic, not just our store. So there's a bonus there.
Oh, that's nice. All right, let's get into some toy news. So before we dive into all the New York Comic Con talk, we do have a couple of smaller items to go over. So Daryl, start us off. Okay.
So this thing popped up on Dime Jock's Facebook page, and I thought it was pretty cool and wanted to give it a look-see. What I've got here is an in-progress design of an MP scale tank Megatron from designer Cassie Sark. Cassie is a very well-known designer of third-party stuff. He designed Overlord from Mastermind Creations. He designed Feral Rex, among other things. He's designed a lot of the Unrustable Bastard stuff. He's done a lot of really cool things out there. Some of the best figures are Cassie's. So this is a really cool thing, and this is something that sounds like he's done just for fun. In fact, he actually mentions in his post with these pictures, he says, another just for fun project, trying to create an amalgam of all the best Megatron designs while taking a lot of the styling from the G1 version. I wanted the alt mode to be a tank, quite happy with the articulation and transformation so far, but still have a lot of detailing and sculpting the optimal body shape. So he's not done, but I think this looks really cool. Just wanted to show it and get your guys' thoughts on it. This is not G1, but looks it. There's a couple pictures throughout that give it a little bit of color, and it's neat. There's a really cool image of his neck with him looking up, and he's put a lot of detail in there. I think it's neat. The transformation, from what I can tell, looks fairly simple. The legs look to open up and wrap around the body to form the outside of the tank, and then obviously the arms kind of come up and form the turret area of the tank. But what do you guys think of this? This is a really interesting idea. Not exactly canon in anything, but it's a Megatron.
I think it looks awesome. I particularly like how the cannon itself, this is not any kind of tank we've ever seen. It's more of kind of a futuristic looking tank, and I really like that. And he shows where the turret moves, and the cannon itself can go 45 degrees up. Yeah. And I think it looks really good. I just love all the little details. If anything, it would be the lack of a visible neck is one issue I see with it. I know he has it because we see him looking up, but when he's just looking straight, you see no neck there. Yeah. Although when he is looking up, I like some of the detail where it looks like there's like wiring and stuff up in his chest area. That's a nice touch. Mm-hmm.
Charles, what are your thoughts? This it's not even close to what an IDW Megatron would be, but it's got some really cool cues that you can tell are taken from it.
Yeah, I think the robot mode in particular, I think looks really good. Yeah, I like some of the detailing from like an homage to G1. Slightly the body shape is slightly more than meets the eye Megatron. At least in the chest and upper body. Mm-hmm. The tank mode is kind of what's bothering me. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but it just feels a little bit too streamlined. I don't know.
Okay.
But the robot mode I think looks really good. It's just the tank mode is bothering me for some reason.
What if it was added with just some paint that was kind of gave it a not necessarily a damaged look, but he's been around and like paint chips and stuff like that. I mean, it might be that he just looks too clean.
I don't know. Maybe it's also like the shape looks a little too like I expect the Megatron tank to be a little bit bulkier. I don't know. Like maybe the turret on the top, like have it actually be able to swivel left and right. I don't know. It's nothing that I can really criticize here. It's just it's just not to my taste. I don't know.
Okay. Yoshi, this is it's made to look G1, but isn't. What are your thoughts?
I'm just gonna say you're gonna hate me. I don't care for the bot mode. It's everything that it was described. It's trying to be all these things, and so it doesn't settle on one thing. The tank mode, however, is interesting because I feel like there are multiple aspects of tank mode that are hearkening back to G2 Megatron. The way the cannon is mounted in the center and can't turn.
It can turn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
On the G2 it can turn?
Oh, no. On this one it can.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It looks like it couldn't turn to me. Anyways, the tread area and the fact that there's actual wheels under there and the tread doesn't move just screams G2 to me. And I wouldn't put it past this guy who's still working on this that there's that button on the top of the fusion cannon that could be spring loaded, and that would be kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's some, I don't know, cues taken from the G2 Megatron, and maybe I'm full of shit. It's just where my head is going.
Okay. I
want a G2 MP figure.
Right. The one thing that I can tell that just by looking at this, the figure is in robot mode is very clean. You can tell by reading the posts along the way that he's very proud of the back of the figure. There's no kibble. He's got a plate that covers the back of the figure that hides everything, and it's a very cool kick-ass design in the back that just kind of fills everything in, and that's something you don't see a lot of, especially in a Megatron figure. So, will we see this? Who knows? Like it's posted, it's a fun figure for him. I'd love to be as talented just to kind of grind a figure out and just for shits and giggles. But I think it's neat that Cassie can just kind of, design something just on a whim, and whether it gets made or not, who gives a shit, I just think it's cool. Anyway, that's what I found this week. Jeremy, what'd you got?
Well, it's getting close to Halloween, so I have a zombie story.
Oh.
Jeffrey is coming back from the dead. We have
toys.
We have a press release stating that Jeffrey LLC, which is Toys R Us's intellectual property holding company, has announced that a group of investors, including some Toys R Us secured lenders, which means that they are getting their money regardless, which is probably why they have standing to do this. They're going to be restructuring everything and control all of the intellectual property for Toys R Us and Babies R Us everywhere except for Canada. And it will be reopening at some point under the name Jeffrey's Toy Box. So there's not much more information than that at this point. But this is kind of good news that it says like after a 5-month marketing effort to market the assets, they determined, like the people that actually kind of own the stuff determined that there's enough there to restructure it like this. So I'm guessing Canada, because they had already sold that part off, it's kind of outside of this, but I would imagine there's going to be some licensing deal or something so they would work together. But I see DJ Ronan just put a picture of Jeffrey coming out of a casket. That's funny. So what do you guys think? Is this a good idea?
There's a shortage of terribly good toy stores in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I just went to a Toy City, which is that pop-up store run by Party City, and it was just so sad. I mean, I know that the Halloween stuff is taking precedence right now, but it was just so sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't sound like they're going to. I mean, they're going to have a. I mean, it seems like they're pretty trying to keep it pretty lean. So I don't know how big of a footprint they're going to have in actual brick and mortar stores. I mean, it's still.
One of the things Toys R Us did was they actually owned a lot of the property that their stores were on. So if that hasn't been sold yet, you know, that's in their favor. They can reopen things on property they already have.
Okay. I just hope they can. I hope a lot of the people who lost their jobs can get their jobs back. That would also be that would be
nice. But I think it'll be enough time has passed where hopefully these people have already got jobs elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm reading this Twitter message or the feed that runs underneath it that they announced all this, and I'm gonna hazard a guess and say at least a third of the messages are just people asking, "Can I have my job back? Can I have my job back?" And one of these people says, "I'll need my severance first. Takes a lot of nerve not to pay 33,000 workers that you left with nothing." And she posts, 30 years you left with and left without a penny. So a lot of people got screwed over with this. Yeah. And to just say, you know what, it's not even been a year and now we're back. So guess what? We're cool, right? They've really burned some bridges with some employees here. You know, they didn't give them any severance. The people who ran Toys R Us made out like bandits. You know, I'd be happy for people who like you guys who can shop at Toys R Us or whatever the hell it's going to be called, Jeffrey's Toy Box again, because I know that you guys are missing out on that kind of stuff. But man, they really screwed over some people.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So, I'm of two minds of this. As a former Toys R Us employee, I know that there's a lot of young people there that likely would not have a problem getting another job at another retail location or some other thing. You know, people don't really, young people don't really stay around long at those kind of jobs. But the people who work during the day, they're older. You know,
people have been there for 30 years, like that one person.
Yeah, like that's their gig. You know, to just be done with them and say, "Oh, see you later. We're in bankruptcy. We don't have to pay you severance." You know, that's rough, and it's legal, right? It's totally legal.
This is a different company.
Different company, different name. Jeffrey's Toy Box does not owe anyone that worked at Toys R Us anything because it's a different company name, and that's bullshit. So I feel bad for a lot of these people because they're likely not getting any phone calls. You know, hey, we're back. Come work for us. So you know what? I feel really bad for these people. I'm happy that you guys have an opportunity to get this, you know, this store back. I just, you know, I feel bad for the people that were affected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll have more information, I'm sure, in the coming weeks and months. Hopefully they do come up with something to, you know, for these former employees.
Mm-hmm.
But that is all I got. Yoshi, what do you got?
Well, gentlemen, it looks like Hallmark has issued out a G1 Bumblebee Christmas ornament this year. The article we're pointing to claims that this was seen at, is it Measure?
Myers.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Myers.
So the picture shows last year's $8 Optimus Prime G1 ornament next to this year's new G1 Bumblebee ornament. What's interesting to note, or at least what I've observed, is that the box art has changed, and I have seen already the Optimus Prime in some local stores. So I imagine we're going to see these bumblebees popping up everywhere. Now, keep in mind this is a G1 Hallmark ornament, but it's an $8 ornament. It's not a $20 keepsake ornament. So the paint apps will reflect that. What do you think, Charles? Will this be on your tree this year?
It doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the other. I mean, the I guess the
Keepsakes.
Collector, keepsake ornaments. Also, I remember the Optimus Prime last year had some pretty bad bleeding paint applications. So I wonder if this Bumblebee is going to have that issue too.
I imagine whoever took this photo pulled the nicest one looking out of the box. But if you do look close up, the paint apps are bleeding all over the place, and the Autobot logo isn't centered.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Yeah, so this is probably a pass for me.
Okay.
I do like that it's a bug, a VW bug. That's cool.
What about you, Daryl?
Humbug.
Humbug. And before my voice totally goes out, Jeremy, what do you think?
I mean, I like the design, or you know, the style of the Bumblebee they're using it's nice. That you can clearly tell that's G1 Bumblebee. However, yeah, the paint apps are just horrible, particularly like above his feet. And even like on his chin, you can see some yellow there. So this isn't going to be a purchase I would make. But I mean, if you're doing something where you want your kid to have an ornament, you know, you can't go wrong. It's not a fancy ornament, but it is a G1 style Transformer.
I could see why they pushed this with the Bumblebee movie coming out, but I wonder if they're also using this as maybe a test to see if making Bumblebee the next keepsake is viable. Maybe that's too much thought into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, Charles, my voice is going, so what do you got, sir?
All right, so there's I guess, Hobby Free 2018 in China. This is another toy show. And X-Transbots was showing off a third-party Autobot-X prototype. So this is the character from the G1 cartoon series. I think the episode was the episode Autobot Spike? Was that the name of the episode? So this is the body that was cobbled together from spare parts and bits that the Autobots made to house Spike's mind while his body was undergoing surgery and getting fixed after he was injured in a Decepticon attack. And yeah, Spike's mind was put in here. He promptly went crazy. And you know the rest. He watched Frankenstein on TV and then thought he was Frankenstein's monster. You know how it goes. But yeah, so I mean, this is interesting because this is something that you probably wouldn't see from Hasbro, is getting this Autobot-X design, and it didn't transform in the show, so it's doubtful that this guy transforms. But it's it's kind of an amalgam of Prowl and I think there's some Trailbreaker in there.
Everybody's in there.
Yeah.
This thing's going to have the color rainbow on it, if I remember correctly. So,
Yoshi, any interest in Autobot Spike?
Sure. G1, I'm into it.
I wonder, I'm not sure if it's just kind of a statue or if it has some articulation. I guess we'll see.
It looks like it has articulation.
Yeah, it's got to have articulation. Did they put Shockwave's gun on his hand?
That's that arm is it looks like it's Sunstreaker's.
Oh, okay.
Daryl, is this something for your shelf?
I don't know. I mean, I've always kind of liked the idea of an Autobot-X figure, and to the point where I tried to make one as a kid out of my figures. It didn't work very well, and broke a lot of them. But yeah, if this is as inexpensive as I hope it is, then maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It obviously this is a really early prototype, but I like the idea of it for sure. It looks cool, and it's one of those things where people can come in and be like, "What is that?" And you can be like, "Well, let me tell you a story. It's similar to Frankenstein, but it's about a transformer." So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the price has got to be right, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
I like the look of it. It would have to be less expensive than an actual transforming toy, but I like, in my mind, some X-Transbot guy just like had all these pieces from various models, and they're like, I bet I can make an Autobot Spike out of this, and just started kind of putting them together, and then figuring out, hey, this could actually work, and they actually decide, well, let's just do kind of an articulated statue. Those are popular these days. But the price would have to be right, because it would not transforming, and obviously using these molds, a lot of these they probably already had, so production costs are hopefully less. But
I'd be willing to bet that this is produced specifically for Autobot Spike, though.
Well, yeah, I mean the total one, but like the CAD designs and everything.
Oh, right.
They're able to take like, okay, let's copy this piece from this file into this piece in this file, because you're not going to have to worry about working out transformations. You just want the actual look.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if this was in the $50 or $60 range, I think that'd be perfectly fine.
All right. So that's all our individual toy topics. So let's get into the main event, New York Comic-Con. And Daryl, you're going to take us through all the stuff that was shown off.
I am. This wasn't discussed. All right. Well, let's do that then. All right. Well, first up, we're going to talk about Cyberverse, because that's the new show, and they are bringing out more toys. So we got some official images of some of the stuff they showed off there, and I'm just going to rhyme off the figures that they got pictures of. So we've got Scout Class, Shadow Striker, and Ratchet. One Step, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, Megatron, Wheeljack, Hot Rod, and Prowl. Warrior class, that's the deluxe-ish line, size class, and we got a Hot Rod, a Prowl, and a Soundwave. That's kind of cool. We kind of use these figures as, as a kind of a barometer to tell us what's going to be, in the show. So maybe a Hot Rod's coming, maybe. An Ultimate line with Bumblebee in it, and an Ultra line with Optimus Prime and Slipstream. So then we've got the images to look at, and Soundwave is a particular, figure to take notice of, because he has an open chest gimmick with a laser beak popping out. Now, from what we understand, the laser beak does not come fully out. It just comes out partially, stops, and you can push him back in. Like a, what did Ant say, Jeremy? A cuckoo clock kind of deal?
Yeah, I think that's how he described it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. At least you don't have to worry about losing Laserbeak. So there you go. But, yeah, so it is a warrior class figure. But that's cool. The Hot Rod figure also garnered some attention, as it barely resembles the models that they're using for the show. So, but again, this is a kids show with a kids toy line. So, yeah.
And it is they've already released a clip featuring both Hot Rod and Blur in a future episode of Cyberverse. So
cool.
There is confirmation that they will both be on the show at some point.
Cool. All right. Well, then let's go on to the Bumblebee movie Igniters line. And this one got a lot of attention for one image, and that is we got our first look at Blitzwing the tank. And this is from Bumblebee the movie, so a lot of people were speculating, oh, maybe this is Blitzwing, this is the real Blitzwing. Yeah, the head looks similar, and the thing that we've been seeing in the trailers is really Starscream. And shut up, everyone shut up. Just wait for the movie to come out. Then you'll see. But yeah, so we get this first look at Blitzwing here in tank mode. It is not a triple changer. It is just a regular Transformer. We also get Optimus Prime. We get Shatter as a jet and Shatter as a car. Two different Shatters. So, again, not a triple changer. Two different figures.
This has me concerned. I mean, is there a figure that's going to be a triple changer for any of these triple changing Decepticons? I
expect
in the
so.
movie?
Again, this is the Igniters line. It's not expected to be that articulate, and it's not a really great line for collectors, right? So yeah, the fact that they have Shatter in here in two different modes doesn't surprise me. I'm not particularly worried about the rest of the line, the more collector orientated stuff. But yeah. Basically, everyone was paying much more attention to Blitzwing and his tank mode. Likely, in additional waves of this line, we will see Blitzwing in plane mode. Right. And let's continue on to the Pop Culture Shock Generation 1 Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker statues. These are exactly what you think. They look like G1 figures, and they are the Seekers, and they're cool. They're the original Seekers. They have really awesome G1 paint jobs. They're
cell shaded.
They're cell shaded, exactly, and yeah, they look awesome. So let me see here. Do we have any information on price? No, we don't. So if you're a fan of the Seekers, if you are a fan of one in particular that you want to, highlight and have a collection of, I would definitely take a look at these, because these are pretty awesome looking statues. And, maybe they won't be super duper expensive. Let me see here. Pre-order coming soon. Sideshow toy. Oh, if they're Sideshow, they're going to be expensive. Oops. All right, moving on. We've got Flame toys in their display. All right, so these are kind of cool. These are what we've talked about before. And we've got a lot of stuff here. So we've got the Farai model kits, Optimus Prime in attack mode. We've got the exclusive Farai model Nemesis Prime. And we've got the Farai model Bumblebee with Helipack. So this is now confirmed. It is a nod to the Action Master Bumblebee, which we had just kind of questioned and speculated about when we first saw the prototype way back. We've also got Farai model IDW Megatron, and that is on his current form in the comics. And we've got the Farai model Starscream, which is G1 and hyper stylized. Also, we've got Tarn, Shattered Glass Drift, Star Saber, Victory Leo, and Optimus Prime. So lots of stuff here. Again, I'm super stoked about the Star Saber and Victory Leo. The fact that these two articulated non-transforming things combined to form this insane, giant thing. I love it. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff here. We'll pause for a second just before going on. We're getting a really good look at a newer prototype of IDW Megatron and some of the other stuff. The Tarn figure is, I'm going to say 95% done. It's really close to being done. Is anything standing out to anybody about, maybe we're going to pick this up kind of thing? I know they're model kits, or they're some of them are model kits and some of them are articulated action figures, I guess. Charles, does anything catch your eye?
Not especially.
Okay.
The Tarn figure looks good. The Star Saber, I'm not a huge fan of Star Saber, but that design looks pretty neat. And yeah, the IDW Megatron with an Autobot logo, so that's cool. Mm-hmm. I like that. So I guess something did catch my eye.
There you go. Jeremy, how about you?
I'm definitely planning on picking up hopefully one or two of these at least. The Tarn looks nice. The Megatron looks nice. So I'm going to try to probably get one of those at least, and probably an Optimus Prime. I'm not as big into the Fear Eye ones, but the more traditional looking Optimus Prime I'm into.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that they've been at the last couple of TF cons. I'm hoping they're going to have some presence this year, and I'll just be able to pick up something at the show.
Yeah. So are you looking at the model kits then? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Cool. Yoshi, anything on your end there?
I'm not particularly jumping at anything, but the Megatron sure does look like that faction symbol is swappable.
It does, yeah. Yeah, that might be a really cool feature. That if you wanted back to being a Decepticon, you could.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on. So next on our list, we've got the newly announced Studio Series Drift. So once again, this is movie line Drift, not comics Drift. And this was apparently one of the biggest things from the convention. Much more important than the biggest thing physically that they showed off. But yeah, so they announced that and showed off a sample of it. That Studio Series number 36 will be Transformers The Last Night Drift. And the car mode looks sexy. I mean, they showed him off in car mode there. But he also comes with a couple little accessories, and these are the baby Dinobots from the movie. I guess apparently we're supposed to bring them to work, according to John Warden and company there. when you get this guy, you bring these baby Dinobots to work and put them on your desk and computer monitor and stuff. That's how to show off your nerd cred at work. That's what they're for. But anyway, this is kind of cool. It turns into a really wicked looking Mercedes. Yeah, I can't remember the model. I think it's an SL. It's an AMG Mercedes, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But this is Drift from the movies, so if you're interested in Drift from the movies, then this is probably what you're looking for. Moving on, we've got the reveal of the new Titan figure, and this one is really cool. This one is Titan class Omega Supreme. This is pretty awesome. They had a panel that they streamed live, which the stream failed immediately, and which is what you would expect from a large convention that was trying to do something, internet based. But yeah, so the stream has been recovered and is now on the internet. You can now watch it, but live it was a terrible thing.
The closed captioning was still working.
Oh yes.
That
So
was
you
funny.
could still read. You could still read what they were saying, but they showed off in that stream. They showed off the Studio Series Drift, and they talked about the G1 reissues that everyone can now buy in the stores, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But then they teased Titan class Omega Supreme, and they pulled out the tank mode, the tank portion, and showed it there on the table, and it's big, it's mammoth, and they also showed that inside the tank it opens up and it will hold a mini-con named Countdown. So that's pretty awesome. And and
Countdown was a G1 Micromaster who. So it's appropriate.
Yes. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And and we want to thank one of our Donatreons, Tom Proscia, for going there, and he got some serious props from TFW for getting a good seat at that panel and getting some really kick-ass pictures. So yeah.
Yeah, I think his picture was the one that set off everything on Twitter, showing the tease of Omega Supreme.
I think so.
And because I was retweeting everything that he sent us, and people were eating it up. Mm-hmm. and then TFU.info retweeted it too. So
Yep. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, guys. I'm in for an Omega Supreme Titan class figure. What about you, Yoshi? You want a Titan class Omega Supreme?
I absolutely do, Daryl. I just don't know where I'm going to put it.
That is a problem. Yep.
So what happens to all the people who bought their third party giant Omega Supremes for $600?
I don't know.
Are those going up on eBay?
That would be interesting. There's I want to mention something later when we get to it, but it's similar. I haven't seen any of those go up yet, but yeah, it's kind of funny to think about that. Yeah, this is something that actively I've been thinking that. People always ask when we talk about third party and stuff like that. People say, what can Hasbro do? What are they doing to combat third party? They're doing this. And
they're making not necessarily a better figure, but they're making what the market wants at a more affordable price.
Yes. And then they're causing people to dump their more expensive things at a loss. So
in my opinion, that is better than just going lawsuit crazy. It's probably cheaper for Hasbro.
Yep. It's kind of funny to watch it. Now, personally, I've only ever replaced one third party figure with a Hasbro Takara product. But I see it all the time. I watch these people. I watch them all over Facebook. Facebook's really good at watching these places. But the same people will do it over and over and over again. They'll dump all their third-party stuff in favor of those Hasbro products, and maybe not. The Hasbro product will be a better figure, but it will sure as hell be cheaper, and so that'll be neat to see. But I'm definitely picking it up. That's for sure.
I feel like in defense of the third-party ones have been more G1 looking than this.
Well, we haven't seen the look of the.
Well, I'll argue the tanks on them look more G1 than this.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What about the rest of you, Jeremy? You want to pick up a big Titan class Omega Supreme?
I would love to. I'm in the same boat as Yoshi. Where would I put it?
Space. Yes. And Charles.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, and when we come to trips to the store, we'll see my space is shrinking now. But I don't know if I can accommodate another Titan class figure.
Yeah, I too I'm wrestling with the space issue. You guys all well know that I have all of the current Titan Master figures, or Titan. I have all the Titan Masters. I have all of the Titan class figures as well. Plus, I have a line on a Predaking as well. So I'm going to be overwhelmed by Titan class figures very shortly. So finding space for an Omega Supreme is going to be difficult, but I will do it because I enjoy these Titan class figures. I think they're awesome. So anyway, we're going to move on from Titan class Omega Supreme to the meat and potatoes of this reveal, and we've got the Siege figures. So all the Siege stuff that came out at New York Comic-Con, we have got a lot of Decepticons. So before we get into the Siege stuff, Jeremy and I talked with Ant from TFU.info on Thursday night, who was at New York Comic-Con and took a whole bunch of awesome pictures and talked with some people there, and really got the ground floor info for TFU. I'm so funny. Anyway, we got a clip of what we recorded. So we've got a quick little show that is already in your feeds, and if you didn't see it drop, then go and take a look. But it should be out by now, and we're just going to throw a little clip of that in here. Play the clip, Jeremy. Let's talk about Starscream for a second.
Okay.
What up with that?
Let me pull up the picture. What up with what exactly?
So, okay. It's hearkening some kind of an image in my head of some kind of ship I've seen before. I don't want to say Star Wars because Jeremy will kind of smack that idea down real fast.
There's nothing Star Wars about this.
Yeah. So it's something else I recognize. Maybe it's just the
Last Starfighter.
Maybe that's it. But it's almost a Tetrajet. It kind of gets cut off at the top there. The part that kind of bothers me about it is the legs just hanging from the bottom, and then the of course the chest of the robot mode just on the back side of the figure there in alt mode. It's a very decent attempt, and like I mentioned on Twitter, I think in response to one of your tweets, is that it's a good attempt. I'll get used to it and likely pick up the figure. But I think we've seen better. But I don't know. What is your opinion on these Hasbro Tetrajets here?
I mean, overall, as a concept, I like what they're going with. I like the idea of doing something that's similar to the pilot 3 episodes. I know it's not exact, but I'm one where the kibble doesn't necessarily bother me. I like it more that these things exist than if they're perfect.
Okay, so that was it. Thanks, Jeremy, for playing that. And yeah, if you want to hear more, check out the feed because it's already there.
It's Transmission Special number 8.
So in that clip, I was mentioning that this Starscream looks like something, and maybe we should talk about Starscream first before we get into it. But Charles Sith believes he knows what I'm referring to. So let's talk about Starscream for a bit. The images that we have, we've got official images, we've got pictures from the floor, and then we've got some more images of a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's take a look here at Starscream. And in robot mode, he looks pretty G1 accurate. I mean, he's got a lot of that damage, that wear that we've been talking about nonstop. But whether or not it can be taken off is still the question. But I'm pretty satisfied with the robot mode. His air intakes on the shoulders are a little long, but whatever. It's a new design. You can't keep making the same design over and over and over and over and over again without people getting bored of it. So I'm willing to take some changes here. But the real thing here is the alt mode, which looks very different. And like I said in the clip, the top wing kind of gets cut off there. It just kind of stops. It's not it almost could be more of the cockpit as much as another wing. But the real thing is that the figure's legs just kind of hang underneath the alt mode, and they aren't really even trying to be hidden, and that's unfortunate. And then the other part was what I mentioned was that on the back of the figure, you can only, in the official images anyway, you can only see a little piece of it there, but it's the chest of the robot mode that's just hanging out on the back. They don't try and disguise it as engines or anything like that. It's just sitting there. So, Yoshi, let's talk to you. This is a attempt at an official Tetrajet, the first official attempt at a Tetrajet. What are your thoughts?
The Tetra part of the jet isn't terrible to me. I'm not a big fan of the used and abused paint apps they've put on there. I would think this is like the first official Hasbro Tetrajet, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like this is your first outing for something that fans really want and third parties been stabbing at for years, and this is the piece of shit you give us. Like, yeah, I'm kibble absolutely fucking matters. It's like it was designed to hit a certain profit margin rather than let's make a good toy. It's really disappointing. I could if the kibble wasn't there, I'd buy this just to have a Tetrajet, an official Tetrajet. But the paint apps would bug me even then. Like, I don't know. They're designing for profit margin. They're not designing for I don't know, enjoyability. Even just having that thing fucking sitting on my shelf would be an eyesore because it's so bottom heavy. What the fuck, Hasbro?
All right. Jeremy, do you want to expand a little on what we talked about on this?
Well, I mean, regarding the paint apps, I think we speculated on the show that they likely are removable. I think Ant suggested sandpaper, but it's possible maybe there might be some solvent that you could use to get that off.
Yeah.
He said they're similar to tampagraphs, but not exactly tampagraphs.
Yeah. Well, didn't he confirm by asking that Hasbro has done away with stickers?
Yeah, he said he was told that there were no stickers in this line at all, that's a positive.
Yep.
I can see what they're going for with the back end of the jet mode, with like having the chest there with like the fans on the chest, kind of being additional thrusters on the back, but the coloring and, you know, having the little cockpit thing there, it doesn't work. This seems like a half finished product.
Yeah.
I'm digging the robot mode. The robot mode looks great, but it just seems like the vehicle mode was, there's just stuff missing that should be there. And I think Ant also suggested that maybe this is a pre-tool for like a Skyfire or something like that. In which case, good. I'm glad there would be a further use of this mold, but
profit margin.
Yeah, there could be something else done here to make the vehicle mode work a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Charles, you apparently have solved the mystery. You know what I'm thinking of when I look at this alt mode.
Well, I have a guess. We'll see if I'm right. But I guess one question: does that Cybertron Starscream from that was kind of a Tetrajet back in the day? Does that not count as a previous attempt at a Tetrajet?
Kind of. I mean, yeah. I guess the one for War for Cybertron was also considered a Tetrajet. The Cybertron one, you mean the giant fucking thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
I'm looking at that. The Tetrajet part is more his wings, just kind of resembling it.
Yeah, I mean that's what they went for. But you had me remind me that the War for or the Fall of Cybertron, Starscream was also supposed to be a Tetrajet as well, but really never got referred to as one. This one is what they've literally have gone out and are calling a Tetrajet. So yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I am also not impressed with the Tetrajet concept. But yeah, when I listened to you talking about it, I thought of the Battlestar Galactica Colonial Vipers.
Okay.
So that's that. So I put a picture in. That's kind of the shape that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I've never seen Battlestar Galactica, so.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Wow, the nerd cred on this show just dropped 20
Well, I was a Star Trek kid, so Battlestar Galactica was not what I was interested in. But
so I had time to watch both when I was a kid.
No, I played sports too, so I straddled the line of nerd and jock. Yeah.
Can I see a picture of you to verify that?
Later, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I can see that. It's the nose, right? The nose is what does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I can see there's some influence there for sure. But yeah.
But I mean, this goes back. I mean, we talked about this when we were looking at the third party Tetrajets a few months ago. I have a problem. I have a fundamental problem with the idea of having a G1 robot mode where your robot mode has the kibble of a Earth jet, trying to transform that into a Cybertronian Tetrajet. I think that design inherently is going to be difficult and going to require a lot of compromises. Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
this figure goes really heavily into those compromises. So it's worse than what the third party guys have done. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this Tetrajet design.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to make up for just animators that didn't really care because the first 3 episodes you're never going to use those vehicle modes again.
Right. Yeah, so I would much prefer the War Within approach where you redesign the bot mode to give it a fighting chance to actually transform into the Tetrajet design. And still do a good job of hiding the kibble.
Yeah. But that's not how the first 3 episodes of the show went. So
That's true.
this entire line is based on about 60 minutes of animation.
Less than that. It was the first single episode where they were on Cybertron.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a lot of other stuff though. So that was Starscream. Okay, so I'm just going to read off the Decepticons we got here. We got Megatron, Shockwave, Soundwave, Refractor, and and then Starscream, obviously. So let's go through the rest of these Decepticons here. Megatron, he's a tank. I think it's just safe to say Megatron is a tank now. No more gun mode for Megatron. He is a tank. Tank mode for Megatron. It's an H tank. I think that's the terminology used for him. Got the treads that go, on both sides, but the turret is sitting on a smaller portion of equipment in the middle. I believe that's the terminology. It's called an H tank. So he is decent in robot mode. He looks. He's got the issue that my original topic that Cassie Sark one had, where he's got a neck problem. He has no neck. But other than that, I think he looks pretty decent. The fusion cannon is very G1 accurate as well. It's a decent looking figure. Tank mode, his turret is enormous. He's got a gun or something else that can attach to the fusion cannon to make the turret very, very long. Doesn't look like a very complex transformation. We've got Soundwave that is extremely G1 accurate in robot mode, to the point where he does have an eject mechanism. This was confirmed by Ant, that you press the button, the tape door opens, and you can put a tape in there. And these tapes that are going to be released as Minicon 2-packs, Ravage and Laserbeak, will be released together. So as of right now, we don't believe Soundwave comes with anybody. It would be a nice throwback if he came with Buzzsaw, because that was what he came with in his original G1 package. But what does Soundwave transform into? Why, a hover transport, of course. But he has a secret mode, which everyone will kind of love. It's the lamppost mode from G1's original first episode. So you can do that. And that was actually in the diorama there that John Warden made. He put the Soundwave in the lamppost mode. Shockwave, though, the Shockwave figure has got a bunch of cool stuff. He is a leader class figure, and the robot by himself might as well just be a G1 figure. It looks really good. But he's got a whole bunch of accoutrement to go with him that can turn the figure plus the extra stuff into like a giant spaceship. And honestly, it kind of looks like the Decepticon spaceship from the original series. So that's kind of cool. And it's big. It looks real big. But if you transform it back into robot mode, all that extra stuff can go on his back and turn him into some kind of, four-armed, mega creature, mega Shockwave guy. A lot of people were speculating, is this Onyx? And, is this going to be Onyx Prime, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just a Shockwave with extra stuff. They had to find a way to incorporate that extra stuff into his robot mode, and that's what they did.
There's just 5mm pegs everywhere.
Everywhere. This has nothing to do with the comics. Comics are ending. The toy line is continuing. These things won't even be in the stores until the comics are done. And then we've got Refractor. Our favorite name, because it's Reflector. So these bots...
Reflector's too common. You can't trademark it.
Is it really? Is that why they did it?
I'm just guessing.
I think the combined mode will be Reflector or Decepticon Reflector.
Okay. Anyway, the figure Refractor is its alt mode. We've speculated. I don't think it's been confirmed whether or not it is, but it looks to be a satellite of some kind. It doesn't have any kind of vehicle mode or anything like that, but it looks like a satellite. The robot mode, however, looks very good. Very G1 accurate to being G1 Reflector. And it was confirmed that if you buy 3 Refractors, you can complete and put together a G1 Reflector, the camera mode. You can put together an actual camera mode that looks good. And the little circle piece that was Spyglass, I think is his name, that is removable. So only one of your figures has to have that. I think this is a phenomenal thing and will make people buying 3 Refractors, it'll be tough to find Refractor unless you order them online. So,
and I bet they will come like 1 or 2 to a case.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But also, Ant did confirm, because I think he or someone else asked Hasbro, and that because of the way these things combine, if you can just keep combining them and make an extremely long camera, and they confirmed that yes, you can.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy 20 of them, you can just have this huge long camera.
Yep. But that wouldn't be complete. You'd have to buy 21. And divisible.
Oh, right. Yeah, because I have a middle one.
Yep. And what I was mentioning before is I have already seen somebody on one of those Facebook groups dumping their BotCon reflector set. They wanted $75 for it. So they're already getting ready to get one of these refractor 3-packs or 3 of these refractor guys. So it's happening. It's begun. So anybody have any comments on any of the rest of these Siege Decepticons?
Sure, I'll bitch.
All right, go.
If you compare the staged publicity shots with the ones taken from the show floor,
okay,
these things look like shit. They absolutely look like horse shit.
You mean the ones on the show floor?
Well, the what's the link here?
Which ones are you saying look like shit?
On the high res display images link.
Okay. Those look like shit?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you compare them to the studio shots that Hasbro provided.
Well, these are also mostly hand painted and glued together. So you do have to take that into account. Like, particularly if you look at Megatron, you can see a strand of glue going from his head to his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, then I've got nothing to add. If this isn't final product, I'll just say I don't need my toys to look like they've been played with before I got my hands on them.
Okay. Charles?
I am really interested in the reflector, not refractor.
Okay.
But I think that it's a little bit. I mean, 3 deluxe figures, okay, but yeah, I like that. I like that camera mode. It looks really cool. I don't like the bumpiness of all the figures. That's kind of annoying, but yeah, the reflector really caught my eye. The other, I think I'll probably pass on the other guys.
Okay.
But yeah, I was impressed.
I like Shockwave a lot. I mean, not really the extra kibble, but just the base Shockwave figure, I think looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't really get into it a lot, but the little Micromaster sword that is an homage to the Armada Starsaber, I really like that too. That's the Airstrike Patrol.
We didn't get to those yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
We still didn't.
Then,
Jumping ahead.
Sorry. It's on the same page of images. But in these deluxe and Voyagers and Leaders and stuff, really into Shockwave. And the refractor is interesting, although I can't see with the new pricing. I can't see myself spending, $60-ish to get all three.
Mm-hmm.
When each of the figures themselves are identical, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. I'll probably do it. But we'll see.
It's this line's Sharkticon that we all bought multiple copies.
Yeah,
of.
but
I got
Sharkticon
one.
was easy. Sharkticon was like $12 for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, Sharkticon was a Legends figure. This is a deluxe figure.
What
so
was the
little
one
bit
you
spicier.
bought? The Minicon team, Charles? How many of those did you buy?
Oh yeah. Did I wind up with what did I buy? Like 3 sets of those?
I believe you did.
But that was so the sets, you got 3 Minicons in one package. So 3 Minicons was a deluxe price point.
But
so
you bought 3 sets of them to do what?
Yeah. To make a giant combiner.
Right. To combine them.
Yeah, and I had immediate buyer's remorse. Yeah. Good, and you benefited from that because you got one of those sets.
I did. You're right. So I'm hoping that you buy 3 of these, and I can only find 2.
You're going to have a Toys R Us sale, Daryl.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna put it in camera mode, so I'm not gonna have 2/3 of a camera. I want the whole camera.
Right. Okay, so let's go on. I'm just gonna go to the other official images and go through the stuff that we haven't talked about yet. Okay, so we've got some other stuff that showed up, and we talked about it before, and it was definitely speculated when we saw that we were getting a sideswipe. We're like, oh, well, we'll probably get a red alert. Yes, we did get a red alert, and we've got some official images here of red alert. And we've also got some official images of Battlemaster's Blowpipe and Aimless, Micromaster's Airstrike Patrol, and the Soundwave Spy Patrol, which, like I just said, was Laserbeak and Ravage. The deluxes, we've got Skytread and Brunt. I'll get into those in a second. And like we just said, we've got more images of Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream, and Leader Shockwave. Okay, so I want to jump right to Skytread, because this got me really excited. I love Skytread. This guy is another Duocon, like Battletrap, although this is a little different because his 2 vehicle modes, the plane and the tank, do not transform into robots by themselves this time. They are pretty much exactly the same as their G1 counterpart. They are standalone vehicles, and then they will combine into a robot, which will be approximately the same size, perhaps a little taller than Battletrap from what Ant told us. But this is they're supposed to scale well together. And another really cool feature is that the pants or the torso are all also able to switch between the 2 duocons. So you can put Battletrap's pants on Skytread and vice versa, and just swap those around. It's kind of fun. A little play pattern there that you wouldn't have expected. So that's kind of neat. We've also got images of the Airstrike Patrol that Jeremy was talking about there. These are two little minicon planes that have individual robot modes and also combine into a Star Saber weapon, which was from what show, Jeremy?
Armada.
In
Armada, it was 3 minicons that combined, and the toy never stayed together. It was very flimsy.
Well, we're still yet to be seen whether this one stays together. But one of the ones here that I am really super stoked about is Brunt. And for those of you who don't know, Brunt is an accessory that comes with G1 Trypticon. And basically all it is a tank with a light-up gimmick. That's all it is. And I've shown it off here on trips to the store because I fixed one that I bought at TFCon a year ago or so. And now they're making one for the Generations Titan class Trypticon. And this one, though, has a robot mode. And just like Cog from the earlier wave of this Siege line, he breaks apart into a whole bunch of other weapons and stuff and can be put on other figures to beef them up a bit. So this guy is he's another one of those. I don't know if you got the. Oh, they'll probably have to come up with a name for these guys, like weaponizer robots or something like that. I don't know, but I'm super stoked about this. And they were saying that they've perfectly matched the color, the purple, to the Generations Titan Trypticon. So it's a perfect accessory for that guy. So if you've got Trypticon and you're wondering about whether it'll fit or not, don't worry, it will. Anybody have anything to add about these guys? Brunt, the Airstrike Patrol, Skytread,
Flywheels.
Yeah.
Call them Flywheels, Hasbro. Why? But the other thing is, and I think you guys mentioned it when talking to Ant on the special, Brunt's robot mode is based on the IDW comics. So they did a deep cut from the Stormbringer miniseries from 2006. They had a Centurion drone, and they modeled Brunt's robot mode on that Centurion drone.
Pretty accurately, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I would just like to comment that Aimless is, like, for a Target Master to be named Aimless, he must have gone to the Stormtrooper Academy. I just think that's a perfect name.
That was back in G1. All the Decepticon Target Masters were named something that implied that they never hit their targets.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And all the Autobot Target Masters were sharpshooters, and all the Decepticon Target Masters apparently couldn't hit anything.
So they did go to the Empire's, training for or their shooting range.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you, Daryl, on Skytread / Flywheels. I'm picking that one up, definitely.
Cool.
The Micromasters too. I always like the Micromasters, and we didn't talk about Laserbeak getting his. He's also getting a nod from the first episode of the G1 cartoon with that redesign.
Right. Yes. His head has got the G1 first episode visor instead of his eyes. So yeah, no, that's cool. It's hard to do a lot of detail in those smaller figures. I'll give them credit for credit's due with the nod where they were able to fit it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited for some of these figures. Some of them I'll be able to pass fairly easily, but the rest of them, I'll pick up. They look good. And then we do have pictures from the show floor, but they're essentially what we've seen already, just in physical form. And like Jeremy and Charles were saying, it's painted prototypes now, so a lot of them might look really shitty or, won't look at all like this when you see them in the store. So, it's good to see them, how they scale next to each other, but, don't take the paint job as gospel. It's just hand-painted.
It's just nice that we found all the Decepticons that were missing at the SDCC presentation.
Yeah. The Decepticons might actually outnumber the Autobots now.
Yeah.
That's also kind of canonical. The Autobots being outnumbered.
Yeah. Well, I believe that takes us to the end of the New York City Comic-Con stuff. Do you want to move on, Charles?
No, we can keep talking about this.
Okay.
Let's drag the show out even longer.
Okay, then. It's great podcasting.
All right, I think we should move on to some trips to the store.
Distortion Productions and Electronic Saviors are proud to present the first limited edition EP in the Respect the Prime series, Constructed Cold. Each of the 6 tracks were inspired by stories from Transformers comics, from the title track Constructed Cold by Panic Lift featuring Red Locust, to Thoughtform's Vince DiCola-inspired take on the Empyrean Suite. The EP will be available at TFCon from October 26th through 28th and online from distortionprod.com. Proceeds from the album will be donated to cancer research.
This is where we show off all the cool Transformers stuff we got this week. We do this as a video that we will show on YouTube so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition. But keep listening to the podcast because we will describe all our purchases to you in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store. Transmissions is brought to you by you, our Donatrions, the people who give us money. Thank you for supporting us. If you would like to join them, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. And that's how you can donate to help us keep the show going. All right, let's get into the stuff we got this week. Daryl, you requested to go first. Start us off.
Yeah, I did. I have the Bumblebee prequel number 4.
Is that it?
Yep.
Thank you for bagging and boarding that piece of crap.
I haven't read it yet. Might not be a piece of crap. It was Barber and Griffith together again. So, yeah. I haven't actually read any of them. I'm that far behind.
You read the first one because we reviewed it.
I haven't. I was not on that show.
Oh.
So I am completely behind. But yeah, that's it. I'm done.
All right, let's move on to Yoshi.
Yay! I bought a single booster pack of the Trading Transformers card game that I'm going to open on the air.
Didn't you buy 30 of them in a box?
Yes. But since last
you didn't
week,
get
I've
enough?
only bought one.
30
Well, I just
enough?
wanted everybody to experience me live not getting another Cosmos.
Oh, okay. They look bigger than normal packs.
Well, it's got to accommodate one large card and the smaller cards.
Oh, that you just dropped?
I dropped the smaller card. Holy shit, I got a rare, an ultra rare. I got Nemesis Prime.
Nice.
Hey, look at you.
Oh, nice.
So this is what it looks like to not get Cosmos again.
I think you'll survive. Wow, pretty cool.
Not bad.
Aren't there only 2 ultra rares?
No. There's like I think there's more than that. Bumblebee's an ultra rare.
And Nemesis Prime.
Nemesis Prime, and I think one of the Optimus Primes is an ultra rare. And isn't Cosmos ultra rare?
Apparently not, because you keep getting.
Yeah.
For Dogcade, since he's watching, I'll share the Swarm card.
That's Insecticons, not Sharkticons.
Sweet, I'm wrong again. Yeah, nothing new here that I haven't already gotten.
Show us.
Let's go over them.
It's video, Yoshi.
You're right. Let's do this. We've got the Sharkticons and Swarm that Charles says is Insecticons. We have Disruption. It's an action card. Over here. There we go. We have
Strafing
Run. Also an action card.
Go.
Crushing Size.
Overlord.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's where you really have the
Nice.
benefit of, the comic art.
Ready for Action. Ironhide, looking sexy
Is
as
that
hell.
Casey Collar?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The cover from his miniseries.
Anybody who has this card can take it to TFCon and get Casey to sign it. Improved Shield. Improvised Shield.
That's Regeneration 1
I
art.
got it. I'm reading it backwards on my screen. Give me a break.
Oh, it's Crazy Rumble.
Yeah.
All
Drill
Hail
arms.
Megatron. Frenzy.
And it's the Sharkticons again, which Charles says are Insecticons.
They are Insecticons. Why do you think they're Sharkticons?
Just being a dick.
As usual.
Yes. So, yeah.
What's the best store to find those at?
Target carries them.
Not my target.
So here's what I've done. Like I was looking for a couple more packs. My comic book store is the only place that still has packs in my town, and apparently they can't order any because the distributors, and they go through they have a choice of 4 different distributors, and those distributors are all sold out. All the other RPG, tabletop, and game stores in my town can't get them because the distributors are
That's
sold
where
out.
I went, and they couldn't get them either.
Target had, when I was in there last, they had 4 starter sets, and they had 12 booster packs. And I asked somebody who works there, like, do they have the cases? Can I buy them by the box in the back or something? They don't have them. They just had the 12. Which is weird.
All right, Jeremy. What do you got? Goodbye, Yoshi.
All right, we'll start off. I showed off my hoodie last week. This is t-shirt, Tape Man design. It's on our TeePublic store. In addition to this other design we have that's kind of based off of a college shirt type thing. On this mug I have, it looks really nice, although it's a little bit low, but it's fine, suitable for drinking. The rub sign does not work, unfortunately. Toy Hacks needs to make about an 1.5 inch tall rub sign. That'd be awesome. And then I got the collectible card game, which I love that it mentions on here to transform. You can flip it. The cards. So, I mean, we've talked about the starter set I have. They're the same for everybody. I will say I love the art on these. I'm going to try to pick up some booster packs. But I will be ready to try this out at TFCon. I have never played a card game like this. I avoided magic when I was in high school and stuff. So this will be an entirely new experience for me. But if anything, I'm probably going to try to get some of the artists to sign a few cards. So that is it for me this week. So Charles, how about you?
Okay, I have some comics too. I have the Bumblebee issue 4 of the Bumblebee prequel.
Did you read it?
Did not read it yet.
It's a good story.
I read the first 2. I haven't read 3 and 4 yet, but got them. I also got so I had to. My shop didn't carry this at first. They had to back order it for me. You can win if you dare, 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 dare. Bumblebee, Win If You Dare, graphic novel. This is a nice little G1-esque story. I enjoyed it.
Another story with G1 Windblade.
Yep. Yoshi must be on mute because we didn't hear him explode with rage. Just saw the pantomime. So yeah, that's some comics I got. I also, you guys might be familiar with a store called Ollie's.
No,
so
I'm not.
You've exceeded the maximum number of toys you can show.
I haven't shown any toys yet.
You're good. You're fine. Save something for next week. You got to be able to beat Daryl next week.
He's not going to TFCon, so.
So Ollie's is carrying a lot of the stock that I guess Toys R Us couldn't carry.
They need it back.
And they were marking them down as significant discounts, including the Titan class Trypticon. So
It's out of the box, right?
no, not yet.
You fuck.
I don't have space for this, but I couldn't pass up this deal. $50 for this Titan class Trypticon.
Yeah.
And
That's the only one you got, right?
well, put the message out on Discord. I said, hey, I see 2 of these guys here. Because I knew Jeremy was looking for it, so...
But I got there first.
Yep. Jeremy, you got a Trypticon too. You get a Trypticon, and you get a Trypticon, and you get a Trypticon.
How much was this thing selling for pre-Ollies?
200.
200? Well, 200 Canadian. It's like 150 US.
So at $50, they're still making a profit on this thing.
Yep.
Dicks.
Hasbro's losing their shirt on them, though.
Yeah, Hasbro's losing money.
Yep.
They're just trying to get something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure if it affected them that much, they wouldn't be coming out with a fucking Omega Supreme.
What does one have to do with the other?
Well, they would stop doing it if they were losing that much.
Yeah. This is strictly a
but-
Toys R Us thing.
I was reading with the Omega Supreme with the news of that. Somebody was saying, well, I'll probably buy one at retail, but then I'll buy like 3 of them to make Sentinels out of when they hit Ollie's. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like you're banking on them hitting Ollie's, you know, and I just dislike that.
I mean, I think Ollie's is taking advantage of the fact that there was all this product sitting there that was no longer able to go to Toys R Us. So they got them at a discount because if it's in a warehouse, it's taking up space and it costs money. So that's not going to be a regular thing.
No. But where are they going to go now?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, they're going to go to Amazon. And
yeah, I mean, look,
TJ Maxx.
look at Predaking. You're not going to get $50 Predakings. The Predakings distributed through Amazon. You're paying the full price for that.
Mm-hmm.
Did Fort Max get a deep discount the previous year?
Yes. Yeah, it went to Ollie's for $50.
Well, okay. So, who knows? Maybe we're wrong. We're just podcasters. What do we know?
Yeah, but that's what I got this week. So
I'm happy for you.
Triptychons.
Let me know when you spend 2 hours putting the stickers on.
All right. Let's check our watch.
Don't start it now. That's ridiculous.
All right, thanks. That's all our stuff for Trips to the Store this week. And that will do it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And let us know what you thought of the New York Comic-Con War for Cybertron Siege reveals. And give us some feedback. So we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. I want to thank Hasbro and Wizards for my Nemesis Prime.
Later.
Thanks for listening to Transmissions. Remember, you can help support the show by donating to us directly via Patreon or PayPal. Once you become a donor, you will receive access to donor-only goodies, like donor-only contests, listening to us record transmissions live, and getting transmission swag at 20% off. You can find links for this at transmissionspodcast.com/support. Subscribing to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play is also a great way to support us here at Transmissions. Every subscription we get helps us get better noticed on those services. Leaving us a comment and 5-star review doesn't hurt either. Be sure to come chat with us on Discord. You will find a link for Discord at transmissionspodcast.com/discord. And of course, you can always send us an email at feedback@transmissionspodcast.com. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.